Peace, everybody. We getting in here. Getting in here.
Excuse me.
You got another great night here. I'm very thankful for the good brother here, Dr. Hernandez. You know, linking up. You know what I'm saying? Us linking up and being able to do this because I'm learning so much stuff every time, and it's such a pertinent time, um, important time that we're dealing with. And this series that we have, of course, let me backtrack. Polka Dot Rabbit podcast. If you haven't already, please follow, like, and share. And also, Dr. Gabriel Hernandez L. Please follow, like, and share. You got tons of good information, and it has a shop that is dynamic. So, and we'll be putting this information up there. Uh, um, Actually, I'll be doing it in a few moments. But the series that we're doing is literally talking about how, if you're prepared, if anything were to happen, cyber attack, solar flares, you know what I'm saying? Alien invasion, whatever you want to say. You know what I'm saying? We're really talking about being prepared for you know things that, like we said last week, a lot of things go right all the time. Now, if things go left, then that's a different story. And that's what we're talking about. I mean, we're covering. If you go back to our past shows, we talked about getting water, ways to get free water, free fresh water. We talked about alternative energy, getting off the grid. We talked about oh damn, what was the first one we talked about, Doc?
I think the first one was
Uh,
growing food, I believe.
oh, that's right, that's right. He growing food, and one of the things, one of the reasons I'm real happy to have Doc here is because he has so many resources when it comes to all this information. He has a lot of stuff, at arm's length. So, you know what I'm saying? So you don't got to
Hey,
go
no,
looking all over the place.
I'm thankful to you though.
Yeah.
I'm thankful to you Zoe because you make me pull my notes out.
The good notes, huh?
Yeah, man, I sit on this information. I want to share it with people,
Yeah.
but without you, like, yo, come share. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, it's true, man. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like I believe me, I know. That's why, like you first cat I hollered at about this could be perfect for this information. Got you like a daggone one stop shop when it comes to this. Let me put this information up here. Right.
Yeah,
So we're gonna talk about foraging. Um,
yeah.
because, like, if you grow your own food, if you're out in the wild and you are hungry, there's a plenty. If you know what you're looking for, there's plenty things out there you can eat. There's a lot of edible stuff that you can eat if you know what you're looking at. So let me put this up here. So, all right, Doc, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, and
Sure, sure,
let's talk about that.
sure, indeed. Peace and love to the family. For those that don't know who I am, I'm Dr. Gabriel Hernandez L. I am a naturopathic doctor, acupuncture detoxification specialist. I've been teaching Qigong for over 20 years. I've been certified by Sifu Jeff Larson, as well as Nganga Talona, uh, and others in the field. And in my life, my regular life, I farm. My wife is a farmer. Um, we were out today preparing for this new season. And so, Brother Zoe wanted me to share some information with the family. So, I'm going to share what information I have. I don't claim to be the know it all when it comes to survival or any of that. I'm learning. I've been learning for a long time, but there's always more to learn. So, I still keep my cup empty and try to learn as much as I can because you never know what could happen. And I believe that and I've been trained by the best to prepare for the worst,
Hmm.
expect the best and prepare for the worst.
Hmm.
And so that's pretty much what we're talking about today. So when it comes to foraging wild food, um, just know firstly that, you know, we have an abundance of food available to us if we will just open our eyes and look around a little bit. Now, what I will say first, of course, I'm going to give a nice little list for people that they can start looking for when they're out. And a lot of it they're already familiar with. They just didn't, might not have put it in perspective, right? Um, but I just want to say this first to kind of caveat. Like I live kind of in the country a little bit, right? And one thing I noticed, and Dr. Sabi used to always point out about, you know, in nature, the most strongest, most virile, most muscular animals in nature are typically vegan. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
have your exceptions, tigers and leopards and lions, right? But if we talk about gorillas and elephants and even cows, bulls, horses, you know, in general, these, you know, wildebeest, deer, these are all vegans, but they're lightning fast. Their musculature is ridiculous on some of these animals. I mean, think about a horse. I don't know if you ever been around a horse,
Mm-hmm.
been close to one. I mean, you know,
Like,
especially if they're taken care of. I mean,
mm-hmm.
they are,
Like a brick wall.
yeah. And so I say that to say, when we look at cows, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
what are they doing all day? They're
Grazing.
chewing the cud, chewing on grass. They're basically taking wheatgrass shots all day. It's
Mm-hmm.
not wheatgrass, but it's grass. And
Mm-hmm.
so they're drinking chlorophyll, which is pure protein, it's pure amino acids, really is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the amino acids that we look for. You know, if you go and buy protein powder, so it's the medium, lightweight, medium chain, lightweight branch chain amino acids. That's what you're getting from that. So that's why you see that muscle tone in these animals who consume a lot of plants. So I just said that to say, don't be scared of what's out there, right? But we're also not, I'm not going to limit people to just, you know, finding, you know, what's random outside. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but the first thing I'm going to point out is, and of course, ask questions, stop me anytime. And, you know, if there's anything that comes up, we can
I'll,
talk about
one thing I was showing this you Doc. This is the book. Can you see it now better?
it. Yep. Definitely.
You,
Yep.
you see, you know what I'm talking about? This, you seen this?
Yeah.
Yeah, this,
I've seen it. I haven't read it though.
yeah. This me personally got me into, like, I think a couple, when we talk about growing food. I think the first episode you were talking about how there's certain apps that you can get to show you what plants are and what they do.
That's
And I
right.
was just saying, like, books. And this book, it's by Dr. Nicole Epelin and Claude Davis. These are the people who what they look like right there, if you can see it. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But the whole book shows plants
Okay.
and it gives descriptions. Not only does it show that, but it shows what the plants can do for when you're sick. So,
Nice.
you know, so when you're going out and foraging and then you're able to have a look at, know what you're looking at, that seems like that's a very important skill to have. Am I right, Doc?
That's right. And I'm glad you said that
Hmm.
because great point. Um, don't wait until something happens to go foraging. Make it like a practice. Make it something that you do once a month or once a week, and that you go out, your family, and go out into the woods or go into your neighborhood or your backyard and
Yeah.
start identifying plants. And also bring your book if you can bring a book. Everybody usually has their phone, so like you said, the apps are a great tool.
Hmm.
Um, I definitely use them. I learn new things every day, identifying trees. Um, so use the apps, family, as a so here's the thing with that. Let's say, like you said, the grid goes down, internet's not available, phones aren't working,
Hmm.
right? So are the apps going to work? Typically, no.
Hmm.
But just so happen that some of the uh, wild food identification, wild plant identification apps that you can
Hmm.
download for free
Hmm.
have a internal database
Mm. Oh, okay.
so that if you have if you have some power on your phone and you can snap that picture, you will be able to identify it.
Is is there a specific app that you would want to? Because I'm gonna
You know,
download it right now. I'm,
you
I'm
know
gonna
what?
write it down, do it later, but I'm gonna put in
Let
the
me
chat. Remind me.
no, let me do that now for you. I don't know if my picture went away on the screen, but I'm having to go in here to pull this up for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you two apps that definitely everyone should have in their phone.
Hmm.
All right. So Plant Identify. So Plant Identify will still work even
Okay.
offline.
Okay.
So that's a good one. Um, Also, let me see. This one is called okay, yeah. Picture Mushroom.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Since this came up, I'm gonna have to share that. I wasn't going to share the mushroom information today because that is very dangerous
Hmm.
potentially. So I didn't want to talk about mushrooms or tell people to forage mushrooms. In fact, I was just going to say if you don't know anything about it, just stay away from it. But
Hmm.
since this came up with the apps, and I'm glad it did, if you have this app on your phone, this gives you the ability to now go and see if the mushrooms that are in your environment are edible. Okay, so that's going to be your first hack. Wild
Mm.
mushrooms, but you must use your app to identify, unless you can also research and become an expert in the field of what's that called with the mushrooms?
My what is it?
Mycology.
My psychology. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can study books on mycology and become more adept. There's people that teach classes. There's people on Instagram that I've made contact with that teach people how to
Hmm.
identify, and so it's a whole process. And
Hmm.
I definitely would encourage anybody to definitely do that study. That's
Yeah.
important. I know some people don't like mushrooms or don't want to eat mushrooms, but in the world of medicine, which is a large part of my world, the two top herbs in all of traditional Chinese medicine, considered the king and queen, are
Hmm.
two mushrooms,
Hmm.
and that's the chaga and the reishi.
Yeah.
The chaga
Hmm.
being the king, the reishi being the queen. So go ahead.
No, no, I was just saying this. I'm happy you brought that up because I personally started to get the I stopped for a while, but I was getting the mushroom coffee. The
Oh,
mushroom coffee,
yeah. Mhm.
and when I started taking it, it's crazy because like my focus started like getting turned back on, and I noticed like I went, I have a Shih Tzu, and I went down to talk to her one day, right? On her level,
Mhm.
so I literally bent down like I was a catcher. And when I did it, I thought I'd hear all bones and cracking and all that kind of stuff. I'd be like, oh, what I'm saying. But I'm telling you, when I went down, it was a smooth, like the ache, the stiffness, ache and pains. I'm sure it was some type of inflammation. You know what I'm saying? That I had, but I know for a fact that the mushrooms started helping me get loosened up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like I'm team mushroom all the way,
Oh yeah,
even from all the way to the psychedelic, all the way down to just the healing. So I'm with you on that.
yeah. I mean, they're important
Hmm.
all the way across the board.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
But yeah, so I would definitely tell people to do that. And also, if you live in our area, in the Georgia area, the chaga it grows in the wild here.
Hmm.
The reishi also grows in the wild here.
Really?
Turkey tail also
Yeah, I've
grows in the
seen it. I've
wild
seen. I've
here.
definitely seen turkey tail.
So the abundance of medicine as in
Hmm.
addition to food
Yeah,
is
yeah,
off the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
charts.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
definitely use your apps, family. Use it before the grids go down so that you can start to identify certain
yeah.
things and
Hmm.
know what you're looking at. So we'll start there. The first food I wanted to touch on really was the wild blackberry.
Okay.
Okay. Sometimes it can be identified as a dewberry. Um, so they pretty much grow abundantly in wooded areas, along roadsides, open fields. Look for brushes with thorns. and ripe
Mm-hmm.
berries during the summer months. And that's why I was saying, if you don't catch it during the summer months, all you're going to get is thorns.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is what it is. They look almost identical to regular blackberry. Leaves are a little more like reddish,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of thorns. So you do have to be careful handling them because they will stick you. Pawpaws. So are you familiar with pawpaw?
Uh-uh.
So they're really tropical foods, but they do and can be found wild in Georgia. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely, keep your eye up. I would say if you're interested in them, me and my wife recently purchased some pawpaw tree saplings, so we plan on growing some, to have the pawpaw fruit
What
available.
do you have by chance? Do you have what they look like? Because I'm interested in some of them. Maybe I can
You know
pull it
what?
up.
I'll pull it up for you. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see that because this stuff. I mean, I know the. I gotta. as long as I've been alive, I've
That's
lived around
Yep,
blackberry bushes. I know what those look like, and I've always been snatching them bad boys off, eating them,
that's right.
or chasing the birds away, eating them. In the backyard, or I've always been tearing them up. I'm gonna see this joint because
Let me see. Here we go. It kind of look
how you spell it?
like I'm go a little bit. PAW.
Okay. Oh, damn, like I said, pawpaw.
Hmm. Let me see if this. Oh, I can share my screen. I forgot.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
give
yeah.
me
You got it.
1 second.
Pawpaw.
Do that. Um, trying to find. I think I lost my page. Where was I at? Okay, that's why. Gotcha. Well, bring this over here. Screen share. That's weird. It's not giving me the normal option I usually see.
Hold on a second. I'm pulling up right now.
Yeah, pull it up.
Yeah, let me see images. Let's see. Oh, I've seen
Okay.
this before. Yeah, I've seen this.
Uh huh.
I've seen this. Hold on a second. Let me pull
Yep.
it up. Let me see. Oh man, these be on. I think I seen these in Virginia too. Actually, oh, let me show y'all what it is real quick.
Yep.
Y'all might
No.
share screen. Let's see. Pawpaw. Yeah, right here.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I've definitely seen it.
So
Actually,
they're out in the wild.
yeah.
You know.
hmm
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, no. I was just saying that's the same. That's the same thing I saw. It was interesting because there was an Asian lady and she was foraging. The pawpaw. Yeah, I didn't know there was this, but yeah, it was in Virginia, right next to the river, and this is exactly what I saw. And you could tell it was fruit
Yep.
because my boys
So
they were
like
like
we,
open it
there's
up. hmm
yeah. So there's an abundance of different things. So the next one is persimmons.
hmm
And again, I'm only speaking for Georgia because I live here. I, I
Yeah, yeah.
I do not know what is everywhere else. So
How you spell
forgive
that?
me. I know if you're persimmon is Persimmons, or you don't have to put an
Persimmon.
S if you don't
Okay,
want.
persimmons fruit.
But these, I mean, you literally can find these just walking around in the woods in Georgia.
Oh dang.
Yeah. They grow wild
Oh
here.
wow.
They are
What they
absolutely
like
delicious.
peppers?
No, they're like peaches with a hard shell on the outside.
What? Oh Lord. Dang.
Absolutely delicious.
Wow.
They're very expensive in the stores, but
And
yeah,
free
they
as hell
definitely
in
are
nature.
delicious.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
good.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Doc. After these, if after these shows we're putting out, if there is like the Academy Award of Nerdiness,
Oh yeah,
I think this show we gonna win this. I'm gonna be out there slapping Chris Rock when I get my award, or both of us. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
double
saying?
snap.
Yeah, double slap. We both slap me after we get our quadruple nerd award because this is some great info, man. All right,
Oh yeah,
100%. All right.
man. I'm just gonna tell you, I have forged these wild
Mm,
Georgia, and I've also bought them in the store, but I mean it's nothing like wild fruit.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It's just not. Um, Next thing is wild garlic,
Oh, I've seen this before.
wild
Wild garlic,
garlic, wild chives,
wild garlic.
wild onions.
Yep, I got wild orange onions in front of my. Oh, let's see. Wild garlic. Okay, let's see.
So those are the flowers. Those flowers are edible that you see there.
Oh wow.
So typically you won't notice, most people don't notice it at that level,
Mm-hmm.
but you'll notice it where it looks like green onions growing out your
Yeah,
backyard.
yeah, 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 yeah. Hmm. Wow.
But yeah, so that, I mean, of course, there's so much you can do with that. I mean, you can use it for seasoning, but it's full of chlorophyll. It's full of antimicrobials,
Mm-hmm.
antivirals.
Mm-hmm.
So garlic itself is on the level of a uh, what do you call it? Penicillin.
Yeah. Okay.
At a certain concentration, it'll match penicillin. You know.
All right.
All right. So wild garlic is a great one. Oh, um, wild ramps.
Well, who?
Ramps.
How you
So
spell that?
RAMPS.
Oh damn.
You'll find these more like um, they smell like onions, but they usually grow near creeks. They also grow in
That's
like
it.
shady areas. Yep. There you go. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep.
I've seen these near the river. I've definitely seen
Near
these
the
near the
river. Yeah.
river. Yep.
So these, I mean, I'm a chef. Also, I didn't mention that, but these are very highly praised and valued in the culinary world. So
Mm.
you won't find this at a regular restaurant. If you get ramps, that means you're probably at a white tablecloth, fine dining
Gotcha.
restaurant. Mhm. But you can also grow these in your garden as well.
Mm.
Um, so sorrel also is a green leaf like this. That's something that we grow here uh, on my land. So we grow a little bit of sorrel. We actually have to pull it up.
When we pull it up, pull this one up. Sorrel.
Sorrel? Yeah, you can. Uh-huh.
It's a SOREL, right?
I think it's two R's.
R.
I
Okay.
could be I could be mistaken though,
Plant. Okay, there it is.
or
Yep,
two
you're right.
L's maybe.
You're right.
And there's different types of sorrel. So I'm glad that kind of came up. But the green leaves there, probably that first one.
Right here.
Yeah.
Oh
So
wow,
they're
that's
delicious.
beautiful, man.
They're like spinach, but it's like
Mm.
lemony. It's like if you could have lemony spinach, that's what they taste like raw. Very
Hmm.
crisp, delicious. You can throw them right in a salad,
Oh
or you can
wow.
saute them. It for these. Ideally, though, whenever you get greens from outside, if you can, the best way to prepare them for the optimum nutrient absorption,
Mm.
because a lot of these green leaves have their own natural uh, bug spray in it,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And so basically, if you were to flash boil it,
Mm-hmm.
right, just for 30 seconds. Oh, thank you, my love. Yeah, so you can actually like you just flash boil them 30 seconds to a minute, and then you just drop them in the ice, drop them in a little ice bath, and this
Mm-hmm.
is going to release all of the oxalates out of your greens
Mm-hmm.
into the water. So what you know, when we were young, grandma talking about pot liquor.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The pot liquor was really the oxalates.
Mm.
So these were the things, it's that's a different type of pot liquor because they let it go for much longer. So it does have probably a little more nutrients in it, but we're doing it for a certain purpose to remove the oxalates so that all of the nutrients in the greens actually gets absorbed and digested.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, a certain percentage of those nutrients get binded up, especially the calcium.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little side note, but yeah, these are delicious.
So, Doc, I was when I was in Haiti, it was the mango season, right?
Hmm.
And was mango season, so there was flies everywhere because all there was mangoes falling on the tree everywhere. And me, um, continuously every day in my life
Hmm.
trying to peel away or break down the American mindset. You know what I'm saying? Me seeing this, me seeing that, it changed my whole perspective. Not only that, but just the fact that like the people who went when they went to go get food, all they did is went down the street to where the people just pick the food out of the ground to get the food and come back home. You know what I'm saying? Because you
Yeah.
don't see that. You know what I'm saying? You just don't see that. And not only that, but eating the food and saying, wait a minute, I don't get the itis when I eat this food. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't, that changed my mind so much when it comes to natural food just out in there and not processed or not put in stores. You know what I'm saying? It changed my mindset tremendously. And
Yeah.
so now when I look at green, I'd be looking, I wonder what that plant is. I wonder what that is. Is that, what I'm saying? That's the way my mind thinks now.
Pull the app out.
Yep, I
Real
am.
talk. Real talk.
Hmm.
Just pull it out. Um, but yeah, so those are some greens that you can find out in the wild, but those are also greens that you can grow in your garden as well if you choose.
Okay.
The next thing I want to touch is dandelion.
Oh
You
yeah, oof,
you
that's
go
my
pull
home.
up
That's my
a
homeboy right
picture
there.
of dandelion. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's my joint right there.
So the crazy thing is when I pulled this dandelion earlier
Oh, that's right. We got a live
out of the
we got a live
ground,
joint.
yeah, I didn't.
Let me
I
move
wasn't
this.
thinking about our show until I pulled it out, and I thought about you. So these leaves have already wilted, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
flower, if you can see it here, the flowers have closed up,
Mm-hmm.
right? But these flowers can be plucked off, open or closed, and
Mm-hmm.
then uh, boiled for tea.
Mm.
Delicious tea. You don't even have to sweeten it because the yellow dandelion flower already tastes like honey.
Oh
So this
wow.
is something that you can also, if you're in a survival situation, you can take the tops of the dandelions, those yellow flowers,
Mm.
full of vitamin C. Yeah, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious. But these greens, super nutritious. All
Mm.
your minerals is up in these greens. Okay. But here is where the magic is. I don't know if you can see it on Instagram.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I see it.
I only watched it briefly. I still need to do a little more cleaning. But I pulled this one earlier today when I was in the garden, pulling up some strawberry and propagating some strawberry
Damn.
mothers. But
That looked
this,
like a strong root, man.
man, this is
That
a,
root
yeah.
look that root looked like
So I had to
damn
dig.
rope.
You got to dig your hand down below, and so
Mm-hmm.
I did my best not to break it or
Mm-hmm.
damage it. And what I'm going to do with this after I finish washing it is I'm going to let it dry for about two
Mhm.
weeks.
Mhm.
So give it about 2 weeks to dry, and then you can at that point cut it into pieces or little slices and make tea, or you can cut it however you want to and make tea. But I'm going to actually roast it. I'm going to slice it, and then I'm going to roast the slices.
What you gonna do with the leaves?
These leaves I'm not going to use. I wanted to use them earlier because that's the other thing when it comes to dandelion. You want to use the leaves when they're fresh.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
right now
Okay.
they're still edible. It's just they're wilted,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah,
have
yeah.
no desire to eat them. Just being
Mhm.
real.
Mhm.
Um, but earlier today when I first pulled them up, they were all vibrant and they were young. So these are young leaves, so they're very tender. So
Mhm.
when you eat them, they're not that bitter. They are gonna be there's gonna be some bitterness for sure,
Mhm.
but they're not tender like these. So if you got some dandelion been sitting in the yard for all summer or whatever,
Mhm.
the root is still good, the flower is still good, but after a few weeks, you don't really want to eat the greens. The greens get hard, they get fuzzy, they get little points on them.
Oh yeah, I seen them. I seen
So
them. Yeah.
you got to get them when they're nice and young. But this is going to be the best chlorophyll you can get out
Mm.
out in nature for sure. And then this you can eat it raw. I'm getting fancy saying I'm gonna slice it and roast it. You know what I'm saying?
As opposed to just biting into it.
You could if you're in a situation, then you got to do what you got to do. This is all
Mhm.
nutrients. This is nothing but healing. So this is
Yeah.
like you eat this part for your food. This is for your medicine. So you put that in your medicine bag, save it for later, you know,
I
when you
see.
need it.
Is that normally the case? The roots, or is it? Does that vary in like in the plant world, or is that?
It varies
Yeah.
plant to
Okay.
plant, but in
Mhm.
general, it's so in the plant world, you're looking at barks, you're looking at twigs, you're looking at roots, you're looking at leaves, you're looking at stems,
Mhm.
and just depending on the plant will
Mhm.
depend on which plant has some one of those things that actually are beneficial. Hold on one second for me, brother.
Yeah. 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 I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you one thing. God dang. If these people out here are trying to scam or fool you into thinking that there's such thing as a food shortage or anything like that, they must be specifically, obviously the specific talking about going to the grocery store because there is food everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I saw this one commercial when they talking about how dandelion are your worst, your worst enemy. You know what I'm saying? And like, they're trying to say dandelions. Oh, hold on a second. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, dandelions your worst enemy. But like Doc just said, it's one of the best things out there. So, I'm gonna tell y'all, why he handles his business. I'm telling y'all, this is like the information Doc's giving you is stuff that people pay money for these courses. You know what I'm saying? And this is some very, very, very powerful information, man. And I'm telling you, in this day and time, we have to be like he was saying earlier. You just got to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be prepared. You just got to be prepared for the worst. You know what I'm saying? And
Facts.
these shows, this information Doc has given, man, is like this is stuff is people give courses. They be charging mad money for this stuff and this information that's going on. You know what I'm saying? Real, I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? He just spitting this, just from the, for the family. So I'm sorry, go ahead, Doc. I was just
Oh no, you good.
talking while you
No, take
gone.
your
But yeah,
time.
man, I just this some excellent information every time you bring it, man. It's like I learned something new. But go ahead. What we got next?
No, like I said, bro, it excites me to even bring this stuff up and share the little information I do have, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
the next one we got is wild strawberries.
All right, wild
So
strawberry.
grandma might have called them snake berries, like
Yeah.
right. So snake berries are wild strawberries. Um, they are edible, but you do not want to eat. Don't sit down and eat like you if you get you get a whole pack of strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sit down and collect 100 of them and try to eat them all. You know, eat what you need, eat you a few, and keep it moving. Because they do have, if you eat too much, you could have a upset stomach. You could
Mm-hmm.
end up having, some type of reaction. But
Mm-hmm.
they are edible, uh, and a few of them will get you through. They're
Yeah.
sweet, they're juicy. Just don't eat too many.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
All
So that's
right.
all I can really say about those. If you are gardening at this time, like I was telling Brother Zoe earlier, so we were working in the garden earlier, and strawberries like to jump around, like to move around, and so we broke up this a few big patches of strawberries, and you have to separate what they call the mother from the daughter when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
strawberries, so that they can continue to propagate and make large size strawberries. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it like the mothers suck on the daughter's energy, and like so they produce little strawberries. They'll be sweet, but they're tiny,
Tiny.
more
Yeah.
like these wild ones that we see here, the snake berries. But like I said, these are edible, but keep it to a minimum if you're in a survival situation, because you don't want to end up getting sick. But eat a few to keep your energy up, so you can get to the next survival food that you may need to get.
All right.
My favorite wild foraging food in Georgia, muscadines.
Oh yeah.
Well, I may have something tied with it, but I'll say maybe two things tied with it. There's some wild food I like, but muscadines, and the scuppernongs, that they're called scupperndives often.
You
The
know, it's
scup-
interesting. It's a trip you saying this right now because literally in the back of my in-laws' house, they have a patch
Mhm.
of blackberries,
Yep.
and it goes right to muscadines.
We in
It's
Georgia.
all in the back. All in the back. It actually goes in the next door neighbor, but yeah, those two things are all in the back of the yard, right next to the forest.
And brother, these are two of the top superfoods that you can possibly
Mm.
want to get your hands on.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, when it comes to the blackberries, that's probably number one. Uh, and then your muscadines. I mean, you cannot beat that. You need something? You good? But yeah, and actually, one thing I forgot to put on my list,
Mm-hmm.
something that grows wild in Georgia, is the wild cherries.
Wild cherries. Let's see.
Wild cherries. I have a tree in my backyard. It's a wild cherry tree. It's attached to the woods in my backyard. The tree has disease on it, so I'm not eating the berries when they come.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another one that grows here in Georgia and throughout the South. So I will say that, if you're in the Carolinas, if you're in Alabama, if you're in Florida, you are just good money. Okay,
Yeah.
everything grows there. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, yeah, there you go.
That's it.
So,
Yeah.
wild cherries. Yep. If you go back, maybe in your in-laws in their yard, if you go back
Mm-hmm.
to the woods, if they're attached to some woods, you might find some of these back there too.
I might.
Because
I mean, yeah, I might look back there.
usually if you see some muscadines hanging around, you're
Mm-hmm.
probably gonna find a wild cherry tree too.
I think it's funny. I think I might be aiding to the trees because as soon as I eat that bad boy, I throw the seed, throw it right back where it came from. So
Uh-huh.
I might I might have a couple trees going back there just for me partaking in the muscadines.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're worth growing, brother. They're
Yeah.
so good. Um, and then the last thing I kind of wanted to touch on, as far as like wild foods,
Hmm.
is the nuts.
Okay.
So here in Georgia, we got three main nuts. Oh, you know what? I did forget one too. The
Hmm.
uh, the mulberry,
How you spell
mull berry.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. I see that they make a lot of those supplements, right? And like in
Yep.
yeah, I've seen that.
So this also grows wild here, and this grows wild throughout North America. So this
That's
is
it.
some, yeah, I do know this grows everywhere. So
Hmm.
I've found this from Georgia to Texas to Chicago. This grows wild. Yeah,
Okay.
red blackberries. They are delicious. They're super sweet. They will stain your hands and your face and your clothes if you let it.
Yeah.
As a child, man, I used to find one of these bushes in the park. It's a wrap. But yeah, so these are all, I mean, and the stuff we're talking about here and covering, these are basically all superfoods, minus the
Mm.
wild strawberries. Everything is, I mean, you know, top level food. And so the last things I want to touch on for this segment will be the nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So here we have uh, black walnut trees here in
Black
Georgia
walnut. Oh, I think
and
I've seen
pecan
those.
trees.
Black walnut.
Yeah, we'll look at the black walnut first because that's not only food, but this is also medicine.
Let's see. Black walnut. Definitely seen them. Yep. Definitely seen them.
Yep.
Definitely seen them.
So this is, I mean, this is all throughout the South,
Yep.
and this shell is a medicine,
Oh.
high grade medicine. This kills parasites. When you have the when you see the black walnut extract,
Mm-hmm.
that's a
Okay.
they use that in parasite cleanses.
So, what would you just take the shell off and boil it, or?
Actually, so you would have to prepare this,
Oh,
right?
okay. Okay.
So I mean, it's a little bit of a process, but you would shell the nut, you would dry
Mm-hmm.
the hull, and
Mm-hmm.
then you prepare a tincture with it with a grain alcohol or at least a 80 proof
Ah,
alcohol.
gotcha.
Or there's other ways to do tinctures as well.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Hmm.
But yeah,
All right.
so that but as far as the food is concerned, so here you have the medicine, and then you got the food on the inside. You got the
Mm-hmm.
walnut, which we know the walnut is full of good fats and minerals and copper, like copper and zinc, and
Wow.
it's brain food, so forth and so on. And then you got the walnut's cousin, the pecan, however you want to say it.
All right. Look at this bad boy.
Yeah, so these are my top favorites: walnut, pecan. I'm a Georgia boy, so that's like
Yeah,
standard.
they here. I've seen them. Yep. Seen them.
Yep.
I
And
know
if
them. I've seen them.
a lot of people, you might have a neighbor that have these in their yard.
Mm-hmm.
Just ask them. Say, hey, you mind if I pick some of your pecans?
Mm-hmm.
You never know.
More food sitting there staring at you.
And usually, like if you're in a situation and you're out locating food, trying to find some pecans or some walnuts, the best place to go is like to your go near like the main street, meaning the downtown area of your town.
Mm.
Like, I'm not talking about downtown Atlanta, right? But like all of these little towns that we have that make up metropolitan Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to like their main street, where they
Gotcha.
have like the old schoolhouses and
Mm-hmm.
everything, in those areas, a lot of times in those front yards or in those yards or backyards, there's going to be a big pecan or a big black walnut tree. It's every it's just there. If you just
Yeah. Yeah.
bend a couple corners, you will find a walnut tree.
Mm-hmm.
But we also have hazelnut here,
Hazelnut. Let's see.
so that's a big thing, for like your coffee drinkers and stuff. They like that kind of
Oh
creamy,
yeah. Hazelnut.
but it's
Let's see what that
actually
look
a
like.
actual nut.
Let's see what it look like. Oh yeah. Yep. Seen it.
Yep.
Kind
So
of remind
this
me of acorn a little bit.
it does. Yeah. You see them a lot of times during like the holidays. Um, People have them in a little bowl,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yep.
know, with
Thanksgiving-ish. It's Christmas-ish.
with the Brazil nuts and everything else, right?
Yep.
But yeah, so this is another one that grows here that you can get access to, and so that's kind of like the main foods that we could get more in depth. There's a lot of herbs and things that you can grab, but I wanted to touch on things that were easy to identify.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, and just the fact that you talked, we showed like the book and the two apps that you shared as well. Um, I think that is very important, and just to put this in your mind of getting the apps. Excuse me, going out sometime and just like he said, once a month or whatever the case, just forage, just get your forage on. You know what I'm saying? It's so funny you said that, man, because the same trip that I was telling you about when I was in Virginia and near the James River, I
Mm-hmm.
saw these mushrooms, but I really couldn't identify them because they look like what do you call them, golden teachers. That's what they look like. They look like, but I took a picture and sent it to somebody, but they really couldn't identify it either. And I did see that other fruit, the pawpaw. I saw it as well. So
Mm-hmm.
this stuff for me now seeing this, I'm just like, damn, man, there's just food everywhere. You know?
Uh, I need a different cup. Excuse me. No,
What's that?
nah, you're right. You're right. So I did want to touch on a few things too, because
Uh-huh.
just like locating the food is one thing, and that's great. And I won't keep people up too long because I know we're well, how are we good on time? Good on time.
Yeah,
Okay. So like in a situation, you don't want to wait until everything just falls apart.
exactly.
Okay. So what I would suggest is that people make an effort to start maybe stockpiling a little bit now,
Mm-hmm.
and just perishable foods,
Exactly.
bags, beans, you know, black rice,
Mm-hmm.
lentils,
Mm-hmm.
to start tucking. It's almost like savings, like a savings account,
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
and you just put it, you're buying groceries, but a few of those things it goes in a different closet.
Mm-hmm.
It's not stuff
Yeah.
that you're going to touch, in the next few weeks. This is something that you put away, you almost forget about.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Because we Doc and I were talking about like just the whole, you know, the balance of just living and existing in this world and its reality now. It's like, we were saying like, yeah, we talking about prep and all this kind of stuff, but we also are big on trying to get this money as well. So it's not no doom and gloom. It's that
Hmm.
balance of, you know, get it while you can get it, and if it hits the fan, I got a backup. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? You know what I'm saying? Because either way, you can't be. You got to have that balance. You can't be all what they call chicken little. Oh, the sky's falling in. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
not want to make moves in the real world, and you all worry about so focused about the real world and not realize that this real world is very fragile.
Yep.
It can, it's very fragile. It's one, solar flare fragile, or one cyber attack fragile, one EMP, whatever you want to call it, that's how fragile it is. So, we really got to be, keep your head in both worlds.
That's right. Like
Yep.
Neo,
And
one foot
Neo,
in,
yep,
one foot
in and
out.
out the matrix. Yep, you're
That's
right,
right.
man. Good, 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 good example.
Yeah, I agree
Good
with that.
example.
Also, you start stockpiling a little bit of dried fruits, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because it's not really going to be easy to really have a whole lot of vegetables, but you know, start canning a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a little garden, grow a few extra cucumbers, can
Mm-hmm.
some of them, make some pickles. Start. Um, a great nutritious thing is it's kind of like a fad a little bit, but It's really, really nutritious. It's actually, instead of just canning the food, actually ferment the vegetables.
Mhm.
This takes it to a different level, almost like kimchi.
Mhm. Mhm.
If you like Korean food, but
Mhm.
you can start, if you will, kimchiing or fermenting all kinds of vegetables, cauliflower, broccoli, okra, cabbage, of course, kale, collards, all types of different food. And you don't have to flavor it like kimchi,
Mhm.
just the fermentation process, almost like a sauerkraut,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
sauerkrauting
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can
Sauerkraut.
season it how you want to season it.
Mhm.
But as far as the nutritional value, it like it multiplies the nutrition of these vegetables because it actually pre-digests it for you, and it converts a lot of, like for instance, the K1, and a lot of these foods will convert to
Mhm.
K2, which is really
Mhm.
what we need. Like if we eat like kale, forget the exact conversion, but I think we convert like, that's why kale is so like on the list, because there's over 1,000 IU's of K1,
Mhm. Oh, okay. That makes
where
sense.
in other green leafy foods there's much less K1, and we only have
Mhm.
like a 6% conversion of K1.
Mhm.
So we get the most K2 or K1 out of kale because we convert more. And the other foods we convert way less because it provides much less amount of K1 for us. So it's one of those things where it converts that for us, and a lot of other nutrients. It's really good for you. People's gut
Mhm.
health. People have a lot of issues with that today. Leaky
Mhm.
gut is a major issue. So
Mhm.
that's something that could really help people. Um, Also, I know we already talked about it, kind of touched on it, but growing your own food. So you
Mhm.
probably would like to maybe get started. Um, you know what I haven't been doing when I do this? How do I share it? Like to my, I'm able to share this, right? Share video. I see it.
Uh, you should be. What are you trying to do exactly?
Just on my, how do I put it? Is this automatically live on my page,
On which one?
on my Instagram?
Yeah. Uh huh. It's
Oh, it
live.
is. Okay, beautiful.
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. You can see I'm still learning this stuff.
Yeah. 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 Me too.
But yeah. So where did I leave off? I'm sorry.
You're saying well, you were talking about shit. What was it? You well, I mean, you talked about a couple things, but you were
Oh, I was
saying
talking about growing your own food.
growing your food. That's right.
Okay, so that's something like right now, since we're going into the spring season, um, start collecting your seeds. Go
Mhm.
to your local, even Walmart carries organic seeds
Mhm.
for a couple bucks,
Mhm.
and invest $20, because if you think about it, if you buy one seed pack for $2
Mhm.
and it has 20 seeds in it, each
Mhm.
one of those seeds makes a whole plant, which produces potentially hundreds of pieces of that
Yeah.
fruit or vegetable. If it ain't hundreds, at least dozens,
Mhm.
right? Um,
It's a good deal.
it's a pretty good deal, So that is just, I think, a way to think about things. Um, Now, this is something that should also be invested in by people, is fishing rods, fishing poles.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Yeah.
Okay. If you're 100% vegan, that's totally fine. You don't need to do this. But in a situation, you know,
You might need to.
you might want to just eat a little fish.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
The next option might be eating Frank. You know what I'm saying? You might as well eat fish instead of Frank. You know what
there
I'm
you
saying?
go. Definitely, we choosing fish over Frank.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. Frank.
And if you're, that being said, if you're in a creek situation, and although I don't engage in eating mud bugs, if you will,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
in your creeks and your low streams, you can find crawfish and also freshwater shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's something that you eat, these are things that, of course, provide protein, provide energy, and can keep you alive if
Yeah.
necessary. You know, um, so although I'm plant based, I'm also a realist
Yeah.
at the
Exactly.
same time.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Yep. I know.
that and just depending on where you stay is gonna depend on what's available to you. But if you're near a little brook, a little stream, you can catch something.
Mm-hmm.
Get you a fishing rod now. I mean, you can get one for 10, 15, $20. And if you need to, of course, in a rough situation, you can get a stick and some string and a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
dig you up a worm.
Bamboo.
Yeah, you get a little worm and make it
Mm-hmm.
work. Yeah,
Hookworm. Yeah,
people
man. That's
people make it happen all over
yeah,
the world
definitely.
every day.
You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you have you ever heard of those setups in which the hydroponic setups, like when they have like the tubes, they have the fish
Yeah,
um are
aquaponics.
you yeah, are you do you have much information on that?
We're getting ready to put one in the in the
Yeah,
garden.
because like I saw that joint, right?
Yeah,
And maybe we can have a whole joint on that, man.
for
If you
sure.
want hydroponics. Yeah, I think we should definitely talk about hydroponics. Um because I saw the setup in which they had the tank,
Hmm.
the fish was just swimming around the tank,
Yep,
and the waste that the fish made went down and fed the plants. So not only you getting plants to eat, but you got the fish to eat.
that's
And
right.
you know what I'm saying? And just it was just a cycle of food.
Yes,
You know what I'm
it it
saying? Like,
it makes nothing but sense.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
even if let's say you don't have the desire to use it for your own consumption
Hmm.
as a business, it makes
Yeah,
nothing but sense. So I've
yeah.
seen it on both
Facts.
sides.
Facts.
I was kind of introduced to that some years ago, but it was reintroduced to me by Claude Anderson back in 2010. Dr. Claude
Okay.
Anderson.
Yeah. That's
We
my
got
man
to,
right there.
we got to chopping it up, and at the time, he owned the largest tilapia fish farm in the country.
Mm, damn.
And although I wasn't interested in tilapia,
Me neither.
but I was interested in what he was doing
Hmm.
and
Exactly.
the industriousness of what he was doing, and the
Hmm.
fact that he had the largest one
Yeah.
in the country at the time. I was like, so he was way ahead of the game
Exactly.
on the fish
Exactly.
farming. And that's a whole nother show, but
Hey,
that
man.
that brought in that whole idea, made me go and research more about that. But
Yeah.
I was blessed. My wife, is a farmer, and she might need to come on for that show.
Yeah.
She
Definitely.
actually took a class that was sponsored by Clark University, and by proxy, I was there. I would go with her a lot of times. Some it was like on Saturdays. Some of the classes were on like Saturdays for a few hours. Me and the children would go participate, watch, learn, listen, uh, and it was just a great situation because they were growing tilapia, of course.
Hmm.
Now you can do different types of fish. You can do
Yeah.
what is it? What was that other fish they were doing? It was a not trout. Uh, what's that fish? The lake? Oh, perch.
Perch. Yeah.
So you can do perch in there. You can do shrimp. You can do crawfish. You can do
Oh
all
wow.
kinds of stuff if
Hmm.
you wanted to. You know, but it's just in that environment. The vegetables are so well fed by the fish
Hmm.
food. Like this
Yeah.
stuff is so rich in everything it needs. It's amazing.
Hydroponics. That's the next one, Doc.
Yeah,
You ready? You ready for? Are you gonna? Are you and the wife gonna come on?
yeah. I'm gonna see if I can get her to
Yeah.
come on.
Hydroponics.
Yeah, because we talked about it a little bit. So that first show we were talking about um, they
Yeah.
call it was a form. It's a form of
aquaponics.
hydroponics, but
Mm-hmm.
it's called aeroponics.
Aeroponics. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And the difference between hydroponics and aeroponics is that the aeroponic systems use much less water. You
Mm.
can incorporate fish. In my aeroponic system, I don't have fish in mine,
Mm-hmm.
but it is a hydroponic system.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
just that it conserves water and conserves energy, so you know, um, it's just a little bit of a tighter system.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
no, no, I was just gonna say next, because we were kind of talking about fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, real talk, hunting and trapping.
Yes, definitely.
Um, I would advise everyone to get some skills up,
Mm-hmm.
get some equipment, get some training, uh, get a rifle,
Yeah.
and
Um.
yeah,
Hey, and for y'all younger cats, I advise y'all to go watch the movie Red Dawn,
yeah,
because that movie might be coming. That ain't as far as fetched these days. You know what I'm saying? As people might think. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious. They have a new version of it as well, but um, yeah, Red Dawn. That's a that'll make you think a little bit about some of the stuff you're hearing. But
that's right.
yeah, all right. Well, what's I gonna say? Oh yeah, before I go, of course, follow Dr. Hernandez, Polka Dot Rabbit Podcast, but go back through these videos because they're lengthy and they're much detailed like this. Start from because we're gonna just keep doing this. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep on doing it because there's so much stuff we can talk about. And Doc got info and he'll get info. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep on doing this and look back and kind of go through the series, and share this with people because this is pertinent information. You know what I'm saying? Very important in this day and time. You know what I'm saying? But very important to do that. And also go check out his website because a lot of the stuff, and he's uh, fairly accessible. When it comes to people needing assistance and getting products and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You can reach out and he gonna get at you. Either his wife, they're gonna be able to get in contact with you for a lot of stuff we're talking about. Put you in the right directions. They get the products on the website. Me personally, I've said this before numerous times. I swear by his detox. You know what I'm saying? But he's look such a good teacher that he done taught me how to do my own detoxes now. So
That's right.
what I'm saying? So thank you for that, Doc.
Oh,
But
no worries.
yeah, what I'm saying, just share this information. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep on doing it and we appreciate all the people that have been watching this and
Yeah,
that's all we really got.
yeah,
Anything, Doc?
man, that's it. I mean, of course, there's so much you can touch on this, but I think we covered everything that needed to be covered. We've covered the
Mm-hmm.
bases. We've given them tools, tricks, tips.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, if they go back, rewind it, take notes, they should have everything they need. You know.
Yep, that's it.
But
That's
yeah,
it. That's it. All right, man. Well, we appreciate y'all for listening. Dr. Gabriel Hernandez else. Follow him, like I said. His pages. I think we were saying he's gonna start posting some of these on his page as well, so you'll be seeing them up soon in the near future.
yeah.
And besides that, we out of here.
Peace and
Peace and
love.
love. All right, man.
One.
All right, let me go ahead.